Hey everybody, welcome into the next episode of the This Is How We Roll podcast. We are here talking about the stories from the Sowing a Seed Challenge, where we get to go and look at how our congregation are sowing seeds in the community and how they are just acting generously to people who need it. So we're really excited to get a chance to talk about some of those stories today. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Well, hey, for this episode, you are with myself, Pastor Jonathan. You're with Pastor Hunter, Pastor Logan, just like last week. And we're excited to get a chance to talk over a couple of the stories that we saw get submitted. And again, just a quick recap of what we're doing is a couple months ago, we had a Sowing a Seed challenge from Pastor Jason during church where we took this lump of money and we broke it up into envelopes consisting of $20 to $50 per envelope. And each member of the congregation that was here on that weekend, they were given an envelope with a random amount of money and they were told, go sow a seed. Go and act generously to somebody who you might need it. Prayerfully consider it and then go out and sow a seed. And the only thing we want is the story. So that we can have this podcast right now. So we got a couple of those stories in, and today we're going to look at two of those, and we're really excited. One of those stories has to be read.
Yes,
right?
It has to.
It absolutely has to be read.
Oh my gosh, his name's Joel. He serves in a couple of our ministries. He serves on the tech team that I kind of lead or oversee. And when you get to know Joel, you know that his story has to be read as he intended it to be read because it's a story, right? It's a story.
He wrote a story.
He did.
Sure.
Oh, it's amazing.
You hear his personality through the story, which is easily the best part.
Yes. And he we'll get into the story in just a second, but he involved his kids, his daughters in it. And can I just say, that's my favorite.
Yeah,
I love that. And so many of these stories, which actually Pastor Jason did challenge, like he added that into the challenge, like, hey, consider doing this as a family, praying over it, making the decision together, and then putting your faith into action together.
Yeah.
Like let your kids be a part of that and experience it. Because, I mean, it doesn't really help if it's informative, like as much as it would help if it's like an experience. Yes. So, we're going to look at that story. Before we jump in, did you have a thought? I think I cut you off just a second ago.
Oh, no, yeah.
Okay.
I just think it's been really cool to hear how many of these stories are just, like, impacting the next generation.
Yeah.
And I just
totally.
think that's super cool. And I couldn't help but think, you talking about making an experience. If you missed the last week's episode, you have to go hear how Logan made his challenge an experience.
Yeah.
Letting kids pie him in the face. Like,
it was great.
That would get me to pay money. You know? So.
Yep. Shut up and take my money. That's
right.
kind of the motto.
You got a new side gig.
Yeah. I don't know if that counts as generosity. But
it's a fine line.
Yeah. All right. Here is that story. The amount received was $30. Joel says, for what I had planned, the amount was perfect. The sowing of a seed wasn't solely going to be for the benefit of the end recipient. It was going to be a lesson, a seed in its own way for my girls, Danae and Piper, in the idea of giving out of what we have. The amount was ideal because we decided, with some coaxing on my part, that they would match the $30 out of the 1s, 5s, and 10s they have stored up in their piggy banks over the years. They were hesitant at first, even reluctant. Then they got fully on board the more we talked about it. I allowed them to choose the recipient, or at least the general sense of where they wanted the now $60 to go. They wanted to do something that aided animals, the animals that don't have a home. Ultimately, we chose the Humane Society of Western Montana. The easy, more convenient option would have been to mail in the money, but what would have been the impact on the girls if we did it that way? No, we would make a Sunday trip to the facility and hand money over in person. The two women at the front desk couldn't have reacted in a more fitting way outside of me scripting it. Thrilled and thankful that these two girls would walk in and hand over some of their own money to aid in the effort. What a moment. Did they invite the girls to go check out the cats and dogs then being housed at the facility? You know they did. Did the girls jump at the chance? You know they did.
Yeah.
Did Danae bond with one of the cats in such a way that she had tears leaving it behind, even though we had 3 already? You know she did. Will we be returning this weekend to see if that favored cat is still there, this time to claim her as our own? You know we will.
That's the best part.
Did $60 make a difference for the Humane Society? Certainly not a massive one, but $60 is $60. It all helps, just like the church giving, or to the American Red Cross, or to whatever direction and cause that the heart is led. But the overall lesson for these 2 girls who gave out of their own with a little push from River of Life to help an organization that means something to them, priceless. Thank you for letting us, thank you for allowing us to be a part of it. That's awesome.
Such a good
Love it.
story.
That's awesome.
I love that story.
I just love the fact that she obviously leaves the cat, and then he's like, "Will we be going back next weekend?" It just kills.
We will.
Oh, it's so good.
Just kills me. But yes, just such a cool story, because obviously, like, kids already have things that they're passionate about, things that mean something to them, and so I think it's so cool. Obviously, like, the reluctant beginning, of course, like, and that's how we all are. Like, let's be real. Like, we're all reluctant. It's easier to hang on to the money than to give.
Yeah.
But I just love that it goes from reluctant to this, like, just them getting this priceless reaction.
Yes.
Of them then getting to know, like, their money went towards something that they're passionate about, which is animals. Like, and so that's super cool for them, and I think it's a moment they'll forever remember, and they will forever remember it, especially if they went and got that cat later on.
This story makes me think of how, like, we've been talking in church over the last couple of weeks about during, like, our tithes and giving and stuff, about how giving to the church and giving, like, being generous and stuff shouldn't be considered a bill, right? Like, it's not just something that we do to check the box or whatever, but it's personal. Like, it's something that like, again, I think I said last week that it cultivates the heart in a way that reflects and is better equipped to represent Christ in our communities. And I think that's what we're seeing is it's personal. It's relational. They added a member to the family.
Yes.
So I love this.
I think I just love that story. I think it's such a cool, like, you know, because I think that that's one thing that, you know, you probably don't necessarily, doesn't come to mind right away. Like, it'd be easy, like, when you're thinking of sowing a seed, like, it's easier to think of, you know, finding a homeless man or, like, and not to say one is better than nothing like that, but, like, finding something these girls are passionate about, that's what's going to make the difference, you know? And so, like, I just think, like, that's why the story, like, for them, like, that's why the impact will last so much longer.
Yeah, for sure.
Is because it's something they're passionate about.
Yeah. Well, and again, that helps it make it feel not like a bill. Like, it's not just okay, got to do this right now, but it's something that you can enjoy. And I think that is what makes a joyful heart and a joyful giver.
Well, and the decision that they made to not just mail the money in. They were like, let's take a day and let's go drive. And knowing those girls, because they've been in my room, they love animals. And to give the money like that, and then for the people to be like, well, you want to come back and see what you're giving to? It's like, that's, for a kid, you're like, oh yeah, I want to see the animals. And now you realize, I just gave my money to help these animals, you know, to help this organization who's trying to help these animals. It's awesome.
Well, and I love that he even said that the 2 ladies at the front desk couldn't have had a better reaction if he had scripted it, right? Like, it just goes to show, like, they probably were just so ecstatic, and then that also then leaves that impact, right? Like, that's immediate fruit. You're seeing these girls are handing over money, and it's just lighting these girls, like, it's making these girls' day. And then they're like, do you want to come see? Do you want to come see, like, the like, just so cool.
It kind of, like you said, the reaction that the ladies gave makes me think it doesn't happen very often.
Probably not.
Probably doesn't.
Well, so especially from kids. Like, I could see,
yeah.
like, if Joel had gone in and been like, hey, I just want to give this money, like, I'm sure they would have been like, oh, thank you so much. But, like, having 2.
You want to go see the cats?
We have 3. Calm down. But then, because it's these girls, because it's their money, you know, like, it just makes that, like, you know, I'm sure that that's not what these ladies are used to.
For sure.
Kids walking in, giving their own money.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that was super cool.
Yeah. Well, and one of my favorite things about this is we get to look at these stories like this, and I just think of like, we don't obviously get it word for word how it happened, all this stuff, but in each of these stories, like most of the time, like you're going and communicating with somebody. You're saying like, here's something the Lord told me to do this, or whatever, and it's not expected, or it's something that doesn't happen very often. And I love that. Like, I love how many doors were opened. Yeah. Because how easy, or I guess how difficult is it to go and have those conversations just without doing anything? Like, you're just, hey, the Lord said He loves you. Yeah. Like a lot of people that don't believe or aren't in the church or whatever, they're like, cool, get out of my face. But I mean, and this, it's kind of just the reality of it. Like, not, I don't want to make it like sound weird or anything, but if you lead with money, it kind of opens a door.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so when you act generously, it shows something that people aren't used to seeing.
Yes.
And that kind of lets the guard down a little bit.
For sure.
And so I love that.
Yeah. Well, I even think the impact it probably had on those two ladies.
Oh my gosh.
Like those two ladies are probably just like, $30 to a child is like $1,000.
Oh, yeah, $100 million.
Yeah, like
it is.
To an adult, and probably just that, like, that thinking of, I was thinking when we were talking about even Joseph, like that kid having $90. I mean, that's 10 grand. You know, to an adult,
it is.
Like that,
it's
like that takes a long time
totally
to save up and stuff. But like, if they can do it, can't we do it?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what those ladies that was probably the impact of, like, these two girls were able to come give generously out of what they had earned. Yeah. Like, how much more should we be able to, just like that thought process. And
and it does, like, just what you're saying is it's so much harder for a kid to get $30 or whatever, because they're doing it 50 cents at a time or a dollar, like whatever. How much more sacrificial is that to them than to then go and give it away to something? And so I think that's just, I love that, because it just teaches obedience, right? And that's the kind of stuff that God honors, is when you're obedient, when you give sacrificially. And it's kind of this topsy-turvy idea, like just as far as general tithing and stuff, that's actually a commandment. Like we're actually told to do that, like biblically speaking. And sometimes we think about it as either a bill, or we're like, maybe not this month. Like this month is a little tight. Like, I don't think I should, like, whatever. But you're actually hurting yourself by doing that, and not in like a selfish way, or how can I secretly get more, but it really comes back to the condition of your heart. Yeah. And like, when you're obedient to what the Lord has told you to do, He rewards that. He honors that. Yeah, and so maybe that's financially, or maybe that's in another way. Yeah. But maybe it's getting a cat.
Maybe it's getting a cat.
That's not how I would see rewarding.
No, me neither.
That doesn't seem like an honor to me.
But for Danae, it seems like that could be the reward.
That's very true. That's very true.
She's going to want to give $30 a lot more often.
Well, my reward would be meeting Christ when I brought that cat home to my wife. So I would see Jesus a lot sooner.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But no, what an amazing story. And good job involving the girls.
Yes, awesome.
That's super cool. That's leaving an impact for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we had another story we wanted to talk about. Jason Sanders. We all know Jason Sanders. He's an awesome guy. He's one of the guys that if you need something, he's just suddenly there. It's like you don't even have to ask him. He's just like, the Holy Spirit told me you needed this thing. Yeah. Here I am.
I'm right here.
He's just the guy. And so he submitted a story, and I don't remember off the top of my head how much he got, but he got his envelope, and he felt immediately the Lord say, you need to go to Walmart, you need to go to the kids aisle, and you need to give it to the first person that I tell you to give it to. Like, just give it all to this person. And so he had his son, and so again we see another like bringing in the kids, which is awesome. They went to Walmart, and they saw this lady, and she had her kid there, and he went up to her and he was like, hey, I don't know what you believe, but I feel that the Lord has told me to come and give you this money. And she just broke down. She was blown away, and she began to tell him, like, hey, I actually got in a car crash last night, and I'm really struggling with all of it. there's all this fallout from it, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do and all this stuff. And he was able to pray over her, tell her that the Lord sees her, that the Lord values her, and that the Lord actually told him, like, hey, you need to go talk to her. And I think that really stresses a level of like, hey, I matter to God. And so again, a door was opened. He got to go and pray over this lady, pray over her kid, kind of speak some life maybe into the situation. And I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. Well, and I don't, she's obviously in the kid section and all that stuff. And I can only just imagine the day before your car breaks down, you're obviously in need of something in the kid section, like which usually is like essential stuff.
Yeah, like
she's not out there buying
food.
toys. Like it's usually going to be something that's essential. And so I can only imagine, in her brain, she's probably trying to figure out, okay, well, what can I afford and still be able to fix the car? Or like whatever. Those are the real adult moments that you have to like figure out as an adult, like
how are we putting food on the table tonight?
Like how are we going to be able to do these things? And so I can only imagine just him approaching and saying that the Lord sent him. The Lord sent him to her. And so like just so powerful, and just the obedience in it. You know, it's very easy to think, okay, well, I've received this money, I'll go figure out where this money needs to go. And I think that's what's been so cool about a lot of these stories is it's people being prayerful. And the Lord telling them, this is what I want you to do with it. And then we're just seeing so much fruit from that. Even if we haven't even got to see the fruit of where the money went, we're seeing the fruit in the people giving the money.
My gosh.
And that's been just what's so cool about it is just the obedience in that. Like we then get to see the fruit in our own lives because we're being obedient.
Well, and I think too is kind of looking at the story is the immediate obedience. Is like it wasn't like okay, well, like which Walmart? Like, I don't know if like maybe this isn't enough. Maybe I'll just think about it a little more. Maybe I'll just hold on to it or whatever. And not to like turn this back on me or anything like that, but it just makes me think of a time kind of in my own testimony is when I was just coming back to the Lord. And I was just going to church for the first time and stuff. I was kind of on like this, like on the fence. I wasn't sure if I was going to buy in. I wasn't sure if I was going to follow the Lord, but at the same time, I felt the call to come back to the Lord and all this stuff. And I felt the Lord tell me, it was literally payday. And I felt so clearly the Holy Spirit say, I want you to give half of your paycheck to me. And I was like, and I was by far living paycheck to paycheck and then needing more. And so I was like, you're sure about that? I was like, and I think that was a pivotal moment in my walk with Christ. Like in the foundations of that was the Lord saying, are you going to be obedient? Are you going to give me your heart? Are you going to listen to what I said? Because what has a stronger hold on your heart than money? In a lot of cases. And my aunt was the treasurer of the church. So it was like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. I drove to her house and I gave her the money because I was like, if I wait till the weekend, there's zero chance that I have this money left over. And so that was something that in that moment, I bought in. That was the pivotal moment for myself. And so when I get to see stories like this of people buying in, that's what they're doing. Is they get this money, they go and they give it to people because of obedience and because they've bought into what the Lord is telling them to do. And just gives me goosebumps. I love it.
Well, and I think of Jason as like, obviously we're all fathers. What leadership? For him to be like, we're listening to what God has for us and we're going. And you're going to be, and not only for his son to just be there, but then to witness his dad give the money and then go, let's pray. Like watch this, and that is impactful on kids. I watch my dad give money to somebody who needed it and didn't know what they needed it for and just got to see that. And that's what I think that's just important.
Well, and to think of it in terms of like, okay, I'm going to go give this money. Again, we keep coming back to this. How easy would it be to be like, hey, here's this money. I'm an awesome person, so here's this money, I'm out of here. But to be able to sit there and ask thoughtful questions about your life, like to show I care about you. The Lord cares about you. And I think we should take this perspective on when we're going to act generously, when we're going to, honestly, when we're having any conversation or doing anything, think of that person as if you're doing it for Jesus, because that's what the word says. Like, when you give to the least of these, you're actually giving it to me.
Yeah.
And so would we just do the bare minimum if it was Jesus?
Yeah.
Or would we go and be like, hey, let's talk. Like, I want to spend some time with you.
Yeah.
I want to foster this relationship. And I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I just think I think the goal was to open a door of what sowing seed really looks like, right? And so I just think that, it should be something that isn't just when the church gives you an envelope of money, because I don't know how often that's going to happen. In the 17 years, it's only happened one time that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But it is our job as Christians to be, paying attention.
Yeah.
And be listening for the Lord, for when he prompts, hey, you know what? Go give that person $10.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Go ask that person if they're okay. Or go tell that person that I see them.
Yeah.
Are we actually doing that? Because I'll be honest, I'm guilty of, I'm the guy who has an AirPod in when I run into the grocery store. I'm going to one place, grabbing one thing, checking out, self-checkout, and leaving and out. I'm in and out 5 minutes. I haven't even had time. Where's the Lord going to prompt something if I'm busy, listening to something else and I'm on my own mission?
That's true.
And so I just think Jason had such a good example of okay, we're going to pray about it ahead of time. We're going to be obedient as soon as we hear it. And then we're going to go and say, this is what the Lord told me. He sees you. We're going to pray for you.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No.
That's not an easy thing in the middle of Walmart when, and I don't know if at that point he knew she was a believer or not, but my guess is wouldn't have mattered with Jason. He would have easily, if they weren't a believer, he would have just asked, can I pray for you? And then that would have led to that. And so just for his son to get to witness that, that's so powerful. So.
Yeah.
It's really good.
For sure. And I think the enemy kind of wants us to feel awkward about that, or feel even in today's climate, social climate, maybe a little scared to represent Christ in our community and all this stuff. But I mean, there's money comes and goes. That's actually not the big thing is money. Money comes and goes. Yeah. But the eternal impact that could be had should supersede all awkwardness, should supersede all fear. That we don't do anything out of fear. We should never react out of fear, but we should love people. Yeah. And I mean, just have that conversation, just pray over them.
I feel like for his son, that's going to be one of those moments that he just remembers forever. And I was thinking back to, I actually just preached a message at youth group talking about this, but I remember being a kid, my grandpa was super generous with us as kids, but he was so diligent about teaching that I remember he would give, he'd give us $20.
Yeah.
And then he'd be make sure you tithe. And we'd be okay, whatever. And then I remember on those weekends, I would make sure I tithed. I wanted to be obedient to what he asked. It was his money that he had given me. But then I remember the following week, he would always ask, hey, did you tithe off that money that I gave you? And I'd be yeah, I did. And then he'd give me another $10 or another $20 or whatever. Yeah. And he'd basically then be I want you to understand, when you're obedient to God, he's always going to provide.
Yeah.
And so, but for me, that taught me at such a young age, okay, no matter what, I tithe. When I receive money, I give it back because it's the Lord, that.
Yeah.
And that was one of those teaching moments that impacted me forever.
Yeah,
and I think
awesome.
This was one of those moments for Jason's son where he's going to be able to remember that Walmart trip.
Oh my God.
Remember that Walmart trip where dad prayed beforehand, where he knew where he just listened to God, was obedient.
Yeah.
And then the impact that I'm sure the lady's reaction, I mean, that'll probably stick with him.
Oh my gosh.
And then watching his dad pray for this lady, that's going to be one of those things that just sticks with him.
Yeah.
And so it's just super cool.
That is cool. Well, I think of every Saturday I would go and work with my grandpa. He would come pick me up before the sun got up, and I'd spend the whole day. Never saw a penny. So there you go.
Impact.
Oh
my goodness.
No, so ways to be generous. What do you what do we have here at the church? What do you guys want to plug?
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about our church is just how many opportunities we have to be generous, not just financially, but with serving.
Yeah.
And I think that's been with our time. Your time is valuable. I know so because y'all value your time. And so But I think one of the coolest things is watching, like for me as the youth pastor, watching parents and kids serve in the ministries.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in food bank and clothing class. And I have so many youth who even do it without their parents. And like that's like, I remember doing that. Like I remember being a kid growing up here when the food bank first opened. Like I was here almost every Saturday. Me and my friends, we'd serve in food bank. Like it was just, that's what we did.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't ever like, what are we doing this Saturday? It was like, oh, we're at food bank. Then we go get lunch. Then we come back to the church. We set up like it was always my favorite day.
Yeah.
Like Saturday was always my favorite day. And so like, I just think we miss out. We think like we almost treat it like a chore.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like the same way we can treat tithe like a bill, we can treat serving like a chore. Yeah. And if you go in with that view, then you're missing out.
Yeah.
Because it's so much more. It is the Lord asking for your heart, but you get to witness so much. Like even if you don't see the fruit immediately, and there will always be people who are ungrateful, but there's so many more that are just so grateful and in need. And you just get to, like, you're not providing the food. You're literally walking a box out.
Yeah.
Or you're packing a box. Or you're like, this isn't even like we're asking you to go buy all the food. And like, but you just still get to see the impact. And you get to see, like, I love watching like Corianne and Siglali and all these people started praying over people in the parking lot.
Awesome.
And like, there's just so much impact that can come from that. And I think so often we like to lock, we cherish our weekend, so we got to make sure like this is if weekend is family day, then serve as a family.
Yeah.
Like there's so many opportunities that the food bank lets and hands of, like there's just so much to serve, and that like for me like when we're talking about generosity, like being generous with your time is one of the most important things. And we have so many opportunities to do that. Yeah. And I think it's just so cool to watch.
Yeah.
And so
one of the kids in my room, his dad only has him every other week because he's with his mom. But every time that he has his son, he's here and he serves on Hands of Hope every weekend with his son.
So cool.
So it's like, when you got an opportunity to be with your son, what do? They go and serve.
Yeah. So when it's like, and that's even like reduced time.
Yeah.
So which makes it even more
valuable.
valuable.
You don't have all the time with them, but when you do have time, you're making it worth it.
For sure. That's so cool. Yeah, and it is more about giving, like we talk, like the first fruits of our income. Well, actually, the first fruits of everything, right?
Yeah.
Like what is the most important in your life? Okay, tithe on that.
Yeah.
Because it should be the Lord.
For sure.
And so if it's not, tithe on that. And that's including time, energy, money, whatever. Time on your cell phone. Like whatever.
Yeah.
It might
and I've even witnessed, like just watching students who are newer to their faith who start serving, like those are the ones who end up I like just witness. It's almost like they're on like their growth trajectory just like skyrockets.
Yeah.
Like because they just all of a sudden it's like they're spending so much more time with the Lord. When we're serving, we're with the Lord. Like we're serving unto the Lord.
Yeah.
And so like I just watch them grow so much faster because of the fact that they're giving of their time.
Yeah.
You know, and I just watch like those are the ones who end up walking out with more grace and more compassion and more love for people because they're witnessing firsthand.
Yeah.
Like people who need love and grace and compassion. And so I just think there's so much we miss out on when we choose not to serve.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, if you want more information on ways to get involved, ways to get plugged in, all that good stuff, you go to our website, rolmt.com, and you'll find all the stuff that you need right there. But otherwise, thank you for watching this episode. Thanks for listening to this episode. And we just hope that there was a shift in your heart maybe, or maybe you were inspired to give more or to just be obedient. And so we're excited to see what comes of all these seeds that have been sowed. Just feel free to follow and stay tuned for all that is to come from this podcast and even more. So thanks for watching.
Have you heard about Joe?
Joe Mama.